Planting Malbec in Tasmania is brave, but going all in on it with an entire label, that is just so audacious. We recently held a blind tasting of Australian Malbec, part of our deep dive series at younggunofwine.com. Our panel of winemakers and sommeliers picked their favourites, tasted completely blind. And this wine, the 2024 Obsessionist Malbec, was selected as one of the top wines. And in the glass, there's this hedonistic perfume of crème de cassis, a riot of dark berries, blackberry, blueberry, and dark cherries just leap out of the glass, and a spice layer of nutmeg and cacao, along with florals like violets and sage and slate too. It's just so layered. On the palate, those dark berries carry through with rose water, but there's a savoury complexity at the fore with olive tapenade and cacao. And what's unique here too is that the wine is definitely fresh and youthful with no development, but it's presenting complex layers of leather and tobacco. And there's a minerality running through it too. It has body and backbone with fine grainy tannins, but the texture is just very plush and velvety. This is Obsessionist. It's Tasmania's first solely Malbec-focused label. Tasmania is one of the coolest wine regions in Australia for wine growing, but the Obsessionist vineyard is planted at the warmer end of this cool spectrum in Cranbrook on the east coast, 10 kilometres from the ocean and the Freycinet Peninsula. The vineyard sits in a natural amphitheatre where it's ringed by hills, and it has ironstone gravel soils over rocky clay, and you can definitely see a minerality and graphite character coming through in the wine from those rocky soils. And Malbec has a reputation in Australia as a warm climate variety, probably because of its long history in South Australia. But when you look at its viticultural characteristics, it can grow well in cooler places. The Loire Valley in France, the high altitude vineyards of Mendoza in Argentina. And Marty Smith, the man behind Obsessionist, is a gun viticulturalist, and he identified that it could be well suited to Tasmania's cool conditions. And he got his love for Malbec in his time working with one of Australia's most respected Malbec winemakers at Bleed-style vineyards in Langhorne Creek, where the Malbec wine growing dates back to the 1850s, and that's where Marty built his experience with the intricacies of growing exceptional Malbec, and he fell in love with the viticultural challenge of it. And Marty and his wife Lisa settled in Cranbrook in 2015, and as professional grape growers, they planted nearly 6 hectares of Pinot Noir and Chardonnay to sell to other makers. But Lisa encouraged Marty to take a risk on the variety he loved, to plant Malbec in 2018 and make their own wine from it. And Australian Malbec goes back to the 1840s or 50s, which actually predates Argentina. It's spent most of its time here relegated to the role of a blending grape, mostly overlooked with little fanfare. But after all this time, it feels like there's some growing interest in the variety. And this wine, from one of the warmest pockets in the coolest wine state of Australia, from someone willing to go all in on this quiet grape, shows where varieties can go when winemakers take a little risk. This is more than proof that Malbec can work in Tasmania, and not as an afterthought or a blending grape, but as a standalone, indeed a standout wine. This wine is a statement. It might be Australia's best Malbec. For the full results of our Australian Malbec blind tasting, head to younggunofwine.com. Cheers.